Welcome to Startup Hack. All right, Apple just admitted what many of us tech veterans have been saying for a while. AI isn't ready for prime time. That's right, the trillion-dollar tech giant that is totally obsessed with quality control just pushed back on their Apple Intelligence. Their Siri upgraded, and they pushed it back right now semi-indefinitely. When a company that won't ship a product until it's polished to perfection tells you that AI isn't ready, we should all pay attention. This isn't just another delay, it's a big wake-up call about the state of AI technology. We heard about Satya Nadella talking about some of this. Apple is essentially saying we tried our best with unlimited resources, because truly Apple has a total amount of unlimited resources and the brightest minds in tech, and we still couldn't make this work reliably. Now, if that doesn't make you question the AI hype train, then I don't really know what would, but let's dive into this a little bit today. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thomas, and here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. Okay, so as I was saying, Apple just threw cold water on the AI hype by delaying their Siri upgrade indefinitely. When a company with Apple's resources, talents, and quality standards can't get AI to work reliably, it should make everyone think twice about how ready this technology is for critical applications. I've also got a real world experience that I can share with you about how AI totally failed me, but luckily humans saved the day. So let's dive into this today. So Apple has built its entire brand. Let me jump to an article here really quick. Apple has built its entire brand around around making sure that quality and things just work, right? Like this is totally an Apple thing, is things just work, right? And they have to meet an incredibly high standards. But their willingness to delay highly anticipated features, because this is already starting to hit their stock prices, rather than to ship something that is subpar, speaks volumes about how bad AI is failing right now to meet these reliability thresholds. Now, according to Bloomberg, Apple's engineers have been struggling with basic consistency issues where Siri would give wildly different answers to the same questions. Now, after 25 years in software development, I've seen countless technologies get overhyped, but Apple's actions confirm my suspicion that generative AI still has fundamentally reliable issues. This isn't just a minor setback. Apple has made these AI features central to their marketing for the upcoming iOS release, and so this is already starting to hit stock prices and definitely hitting their PR machine right now. Even the most advanced LMs today are having real accuracy ceilings around 80%, right? That's really the highest that you're seeing on even test scores. And I think even those numbers are rigged. In my experience, you're seeing more like 60s to 70% at best. Now, Apple's quality standards typically demand reliability of high rates of 95 to 100%, creating a fundamental mismatch between what AI can deliver and what Apple requires. So during this internal testing, Apple reported that Siri would provide correct answers in one instance and completely contradictory information minutes later using the exact same prompt. And that's what just gets really dangerous. Now, The Verge reports that Apple's engineers found these issues more persistent and harder to solve than originally anticipated, right? And so this is a huge problem because this just really won't hit this real world consistency. It highlights the critical gap between impressive AI demos and reliable real world applications that people can depend on. And I've got a story here, so hang with me because I've got a great story about an experience that happened last week. So last week, my son was riding his brother-in-law's one wheel, right? If you've ever seen those, it's kind of like a skateboard where you ride side and it has a big wheel in the middle. And he rides it all the time, but he jumped on it, and I've always talked to him about this, but he jumped on it, was riding around the park, got going a little fast, got the speed wobbles, hit something, and down he went. And it wasn't like it was a crazy crash, and he had a helmet on, but he didn't have anything else. So when he fell, he landed on his hand and injured his arm. And he was complaining as soon as he went down, ow, 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 my arm hurts. And he's a pretty tough kid. He rides dirt bikes. I've talked about that on here before. And he rides dirt bikes. And so, I was we weren't like terribly worried, but then like he continued to complain about it. And generally he's broken one bone before, and this was kind of that same behavior that we saw. So we took him in just to urgent care and went and got an x-ray. So as you can see from the x-ray, it was like, oh, well, this looks great. No broken bone, probably just a sprain. We'll get a splint onto it. But I thought, you know what? And my son was actually talking to me. He's like, why don't you ask AI? And so I dove in, I grabbed Grok, right? Grabbed Grok 3. And it was like, hey, it looks like everything's good. I moved to ChatGPT, moved to Claude, moved to Gemini, tested all of them. Unanimously, all of them told me the bone was not broken and we were good to go. So then we get a closer up x-ray, right? But then there's a different angle, and I'd uploaded all of these different angles into it. But as you get closer and closer and closer, you can start to see that there actually was a partial fracture here on the bone. So I actually loaded these closer views back into all the AIs. All of them gave me the same answer again. No, not broken, like you're good to go. I actually then even circled these and said, hey, look, see this bulge right here on the far out one, and on this view, see this one here, and even circled it, sent it to AI and said, now do you think it's broken? Even saying, look at this area, circling it for it. And it still told me the actual exact same thing. This is actually a save of the prompt after that. I don't see any clear fractures in the bone. So, this wasn't a terribly hard one to see. And I even told AI that he fell, right, and broke his fall with a break. And so it should have known to look for that. And I know some are going to say, well, it's not trained. But actually, Grok is supposedly in the medical industry specifically for sonography, which is like looking at ultrasounds and x-rays, at supposedly being the best trained at this. Now, in my case, epic fail. If I'd relied on just AI and said, bah, like, but luckily it was actually a PA, came in, said, hey, look, see this? We see this pretty often when kids fall, right? And showed us where the break was, and, he got a little soft cast. He'll be down for 3 or 4 weeks. He'll be back on his dirt bike in no time. No worries. Like, it's all part of being a kid, right? Now, another great example of this is like Tesla, right? I love my Tesla, and I bought a FSD in 2020 when I bought the car, because I'm a huge believer in Elon and a huge believer in Tesla. And so, but we've been hearing since 2018 that full self-driving would be complete and driving us by the end of the year. We've been hearing this every single year. This year's no different. We're being promised that robotaxis will be rolled out in June in Austin. But what we're getting to this place where it can get to 90% really well. But that last 10% is a long, long ways. And so those final few percentage points are actually where we see this huge plateau, right? And I've seen some crazy, amazing, impressive stuff. I use FSD every single day. I drive the Tesla, I just climb in, punch in where I'm going, hit FSD, go. But you still got to watch it, right? Like, you still have to absolutely watch it. You still have to be very attentive. Is it better? And can I look around and can I answer a quick text or something like that? Yeah, I do from time to time when FSD's on, because I know it's going to at least stop for a car in front of me. But overall, we're still seeing that this last 10% has taken them almost a decade to get past this last 10%. So after decades in software development, I recognize that there's a pattern. A demo looks amazing, executives get excited, stock prices run, investors go crazy, but engineering teams are quietly talking about the gap in reality. And that's what we're seeing here with AI right now. We're seeing that, yes, right now it's not even into the 90%. We're seeing it get at best into 80%. And I think realistically, without skewed benchmarks, I think we're getting more around the 60 to 70%. And this just isn't high enough to be used in production settings. So speaking of reliability issues, if your company has a legacy systems that aren't connected reliably, let us help you out, because here at Starter Pack, our specialty is connecting systems to help your company work like a well-oiled machine. So it's the kind of reliability that even AI can't match yet. So check out starterpack.com/Spencer, because we'd love to help you out. Now, Apple stock drop has dropped over 3% in the news of the AI delay, right? And it really hit, a lot of money against Apple. But Apple, weathers those kind of storms all the time. They're not worried about it. They're more worried about shipping a bad product. So what I think is refreshing about Apple's delay is the rare honesty that we see about AI's limitation. And it's contrasting with the sharp marketing hype that we see from many companies right now. My X feed is full of people telling me, oh, developers are going to be gone because I built this. And I just recently was reading that 25% of all of the people in Y Combinator right now said their code was entirely built by AI. Now, I don't doubt that. I do doubt the actual production ability of those Y Combinator apps, right? And so could it put together a flashy demo? Absolutely. That's what AI is great for. Can it build you a full production system that'll scale to 100,000 users? Absolutely not. And that's where I'm really seeing this tension between engineering reality and the marketing promises and how it's playing out across the industry. There's huge hallucination problems. Like I just said it before, I noticed that there was tons of hallucinations, even though I had pushed the image back in and even circled and said, hey, this is where the break is, almost trying to teach AI. It still sat there and just repeated and parroted the exact same stuff it had told the first time. And this is where you get into a really big hallucination problem. It's a very real problem. And Apple's seeing the same thing, where you can sometimes put in one thing and sometimes get the same answer, but other times you'll put in something and get a totally different answer. Or if you've changed the input now and it's still stuck on the original answer. These are some of the definition of it. And Bloomberg is reporting that Apple engineers are particularly concerned about hallucinations that could provide dangerous advice or offensive content. So Apple's brand doesn't want to get damaged, right? And they face another challenge that few have discussed, and that's running advanced AI models requires enormous computational resources that aren't realistically available on mobile devices right now. So these small, I'm a big fan of these smaller models for very limited use cases, but they cannot be done to boil the ocean. You can't do everything with them. I'm a huge fan of building using these small language models to produce an agent that does a thing where you can consistently do it and then even potentially have a human be checking it. So I use Claude, I use Gemini, I use ChatGPT. I don't use ChatGPT much anymore, honestly. I mostly use Claude, Gemini, and DeepSeek are really the ones that I really see, just because those are the ones that, one, I think work the best, and two, so I'm making comparisons. And I'm paying for the premium of all of those. So what I'm testing is like the best product that they give for all of those. So the real competition isn't about who ships first, but who can solve the fundamental reliability problems that are plaguing all of the current AI systems. Now, Apple's struggles have profound implications for enterprise considering AI adoption. If Apple can't make it reliably work, what chances do these companies that have fewer resources have? So the path forward, I really think, is about implementing AI tools, because I believe they're really powerful. I believe they're really helpful. I think they can really speed us up and make us more efficient, just the same way that mathematicians got faster with calculators, but not replacing them. I think AI can make us faster at our jobs while not replacing them. So I think we need to figure out the balance between AI plus humans. I think this is where we win, as we figure out AI as a tool to augment human creativity. This is where we see this, right? I think there's definitely a consumer reality check that needs to happen. Apple's delay serves as an important reminder to be skeptical of AI capabilities that seem too good to be true, because they are. Despite impressive demos, today's AI assistants remain glorified toys rather than reliable tools for anything important. Again, if I had trusted AI to diagnose my son's broken arm, he'd still be hurting. And if your systems are not reliable, check out startuphack.com/Spencer, because we love to help companies build custom software solutions. Now, we've also, I love to have your guys' thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm off? Do you think Apple's being silly? Let me know your thoughts. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps, as well as to build custom software solutions for companies. So check out this information that we've got here for you.
Want to become a software developer but don't want to spend 4 years in college and rack up massive student loan debts? Think you need technical expertise to get started? Welcome to Startup Hack, a better way to start your software career without student loans and years without income. One-on-one tutoring is included, so you never get stuck and have guidance through the whole process. No technical experience is necessary. Learn at your own pace and in your own space. Startup Hack has worked with local state agencies in your area to make it so that qualifying students can get the program costs covered entirely, and students can start earning while they learn.
Startup Hack's .NET Coding Bootcamp was a game changer for my career. As someone with no prior programming experience, I was initially intimidated by the idea of learning to code, but the instructors at Startup Hack broke down complex concepts into easy to understand lessons and provided hands-on projects that really cemented my understanding. The curriculum was comprehensive and up to date and got me ready for my first job. What really set Startup Hack apart was the focus on practical, real-world skills. Thanks to Startup Hack, I landed my dream job as a .NET developer within weeks of graduating. I went from knowing nothing about code to building professional-grade web applications in just a few intense months. If you're looking to break into .NET development or level up your coding skills, I cannot recommend Startup Hack enough.
Complete our 3-month coding bootcamp, gain hands-on experience, and land a paid internship. With 2 years of experience, on average, our graduates are making over $80,000 per year. The 3-month program includes technologies from Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. No debt, just a quick path to earning. Check out startuphack.com to code your